Welcome back, crew. Bitcoin stuck in a tight range, 10K 110 right now. Ethereum took a sharp hit down about 7%. Yet ETF flows keep piling in. Altcoins are split. Some meme plays are sliding, while some L2 projects are heating up. What does it all mean for this week? Let's break it all down. Welcome back, crew. It's your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in crypto and Bitcoin action. If you like what you see, give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe. And don't forget, come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. It is Labor Day in the States, so the market could be quiet, but as it stands right now, I never understood why, like, bankers would get off on Labor Day. It's like, we don't really do labor. I mean, we watch numbers go back and forth. I mean, it's not like we're building buildings or anything. It was always a strange mystery to me. And every Labor Day that I had off, I would still watch the London market. And so it really wasn't off. I was always had, some areas of interest that I had in FOREX. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, right now, let's start off with Bitcoin right now. Do you remember this chart? We posted this on July 19th. Okay, we had a don't close below level of 115.7. We had our buy areas of 109, and we had the lower level at 106, and the deepest level we had at 100K. So look at this, July 19th, we're right back to basically where we were July 19th, except aside we are below 115.7, and that's a level that we need to climb back up over again to show actual strength. But there are some other areas that we can look at. So momentum has stalled since the push above 124K in mid-August. Now it's leaving, some traders. I'm reading a lot of stuff out there, and a lot of traders are split. We believe that this is a healthy consolidation before the next leg up. Some other traders warn of a possible deeper pullback to 92,000. I've heard that too. And as I said yesterday in yesterday's video, I spoke to some traders that work for some big funds that basically saying that's where they're looking to buy, really buy big. But so if the 92 support, breaks, that's going to be ugly. Okay, but right now we're not there, but we just got to be cautious of it. But here were the levels that we said on July 19th. Don't close below 115.7. 109K is a buy area, 106 is a buy area, and 100,000 is a buy area. So let's move on over to this chart. This is the chart that everybody's looking at, all right? And we are as well. So right now we got the basic neckline at like 112. So it's a little bit less than, if we look at this chart at the 115.7, okay? But breaking above 112 would be healthy. Okay, it would be healthy. And right now we're just grinding. We're grinding it out. Ethereum's actually still the one that's the strongest one out of the two that we're looking at right now. XRP, man, XRP, we're going to look at that in a moment, but XRP is taking it right on the nose. It's really, really pushing the nerves of retail traders. So probably about the best time to look to actually scoop more XRP, and we'll get into that in a moment. But right now, let's move over to our classic 2-hour chart. I don't like, I always say that whenever we get we just touched it. I won't even say that was a break of it. We went down on this bar. The pin went down to 107,353. The lowest price point 107,265. What's this one? 107,239. So this low actually kind of tested this. I don't like that it did it. Okay, because that for me, even though you say that's only like about $50, $60, it means a lot. It means, technically something's up that we got to keep on our toes, that really the bears are still kind of in control of this marketplace. And the only way that, we're going to shake the weakness off right now is if we can get through, like the first level to get through would be, let me see, where are we right here? We went down to, like 111, that's the first level. Okay, that would be the first, inclination that we're starting to recover. So I'm going to put the price up right up here, All right, I'll go 110,993. That's close enough. That's the level that has to be overcome. Now, if we go back to our other chart, we see that we're above the neckline right there. Wow. Okay, so that's the level. All right, so that's double confirmation of Bitcoin starting to gain some strength. Okay, now if again, okay, we get above 111, we got to get above like the let's see, 11, like 115. Okay, like up in here. So there's a lot of consolidation that's going to happen between those 2 points. So if you're looking to buy Bitcoin, you're going to want to just hold off, okay? Get in our pro group, and we'll guide you through it. All right, we're not, knee-jerk traders. We actually wait for pullbacks to get long, and I'll show you that in Ethereum, how we handle Ethereum. But as it stands right now, this is, the line in the sand. If 107 goes, we're looking potentially quickly down to like 105. If that goes, then it's going to go down to like 100,000. So, I mean, I don't enjoy saying it. I don't really, I really don't care because I'm a trader. I'll try to trade both. But like if this goes, you could look for a movement down to 105, slight retrace back up to potentially this low right there, and then the push down potentially down to the 100. Okay, and that's a deep line in the sand for the coin itself. On the opposite side, the opposite trajectory, if this level, although I don't like that it did sneak through it a little bit, you could say, oh, it's marginal sneak through. It's still a sneak through. Okay, so for me, that's always been like a warning sign, because if you look at trending, if you look at like trend reversals, okay, trend reversals generally occur. Let me get a line. Instead of a path, let me get this. If we had this low in place, all right, a trend reversal. And you could say, Tom, it's only like $60. For me, it matters. Okay, you could dismiss it. Sometimes it's wrong. Okay, but really, if we look at a trend reversal, let's say we were at this point. Okay, we would have traveled down to a low that was slightly higher, then push back up here, and then another retrace to either the same low or a slightly higher low before the marketplace could take the top out and attempt to get through that point there. It didn't do that. Okay, it went down a little bit lower, so it means I think that there's a little bit potential movement further down. How much further down? Like 105 maybe. That big line in the sand is the 100. Now it is a quiet day today. The traders are just, the big guys on the desk. When we're talking about Fidelity, Vanguard, State Street, they probably went out and drank their champagne yesterday and celebrated that they work real hard, right? Okay. But anyway, if we look at Bitcoin itself, we can see Bitcoin still right now has a bullish megaphone pattern that not many people are picking up on right now. But we got Frank that digs in and he says, okay, let's look at, where we are as far as potential breakout upward. Okay. And this is true in a bullish megaphone pattern. Every touch like lower strengthens the structure itself, as long as it doesn't fall out of bed. Okay. Every swing will get bigger and every breakout will get stronger and louder. So if the pattern can hold up and we can get through the recent top, we're looking at a target of like 133. And it isn't hopium, it's like a setup. But we got to get through the quagmire of what we're getting through right now. So you just don't go buy Bitcoin off of this. You wait for the retrace. Like I said, get in our pro group. It doesn't cost anything. The only thing we ask is that you go in with our broker of choice. And if you want to trade, you trade. If you don't want to trade, you don't trade. It's up to you. It's your money. You could withdraw it. I mean, we're not looking for your money. We're actually looking to try to help you out and guide you through this stuff. But if we look at a Bitcoin, is the consolidation that's happening, okay, and we dig down and we look at Bitcoin where we can see a potential breakout pattern is forming. It's in a a break. It's in a wedge, tighter wedge than that the megaphone pattern itself, and it's trying to load up and break out. Okay, now if we look at this pattern, look at like this top right here, 113 is the first level. Then we got another level at like 117, and then we got the ultimate high. So you can see now if we go to the left, we can actually see the support right here, right around 105. That's the line that we set in the sand, and then we got the deeper support down here at 98. So although the breakout pattern is here, we have to really pick our battles and pick our points. But Bitcoin itself, overall, it's loading its classic move. Okay, now it could have a deep shakeout. That's absolutely possible. Remember, Bitcoin usually has a $30,000 delta, so that's possible. Okay, but if we look at the structure itself, it's doing what it normally does. The formula is the same every time. Okay, it gets a rejection at highs, then it gets the break downwards, a retest, and then another rocket upward. So 110K was the line, and we got to get over that. If history repeats, and when it repeats, it's not going to crawl, it's going to explode. And we got to wait for this week when everybody gets back. Like we said yesterday, we know for a fact that like IBIT shares are going to be pumped. So that's Bitcoin. Okay. We know that Ethereum is going to be pumped through like State Street and Fidelity for sure. They're going to be going to their clients going, hey, we got good prices here. You should invest in this for the long term. So that's going to, that should give us some buoyancy. Okay. But there's no cavalry. It's all here in the technicals. Okay. So the technicals really lead us to what the long run is going to be. We just got to pick our battles. Okay. Now, if we miss our setups, if we trade with fear, okay, and we don't do what we are supposed to do, we'd regret it. And we're not going to do that. We're going to trade what we see, and we're going to trade our analysis, and we're going to take the shots at it. Okay, as long as we have tight stops losses in, we're not going to get hurt because we've already accumulated a good amount of money in Bitcoin and in Ethereum. And Ethereum has really been our star. It's been the star of our show. But anyway, now let's get on to, since we're talking about Ethereum, let's get on to Ethereum. All right, and we talked about this. Okay. We actually bought in the discount area. I'm going to take you over to WEX, the broker of our choice, where we have what? We got low fees, fast execution, hardly any slippage. All right, so our Ethereum trade is working out. Our H-bar is not right now. And like I said yesterday, I'm not really concerned about H-bar. We expect it to be much higher in a few months than it is right now. We think it's a great buy, a bargain. But you know what? Trading's not bargain hunting. Right now, as it stands, we are freaking wrong. And that's where it goes. But we have our stop in, and we're not, if the stop gets hit, we start again. But Ethereum, as I just showed you, like we had our level, we bought in the discount area, and Ethereum's, it's okay. It's not taking off. Again, it's a slow marketplace right now. But Ethereum has been the story of the day. It was down, I believe, at over 7%, near the 4,360 level. And we're still basically hovering around that level right now. But here's the kicker. Like, we have to watch, despite the price pressure in Ethereum, we know that institutional demand hasn't slowed one bit. And we could look at ETF inflows over the last week. They topped over $1 billion, showing big money is still loading up. So we're calling for a possible run to 7,000 by year end. Now, short term, Ethereum looks like it needs to find footing before any big move higher. But we know that Ethereum just completed its 2021 versus 2025 cycle. We had the same dead cat bounce. We had the same retest. We got the same ignition. The only difference between 2021 and 2025 is that Wall Street is in on the trade. So we got the big boys in on the trade. So the first setup ran from $200 to $4,000. Okay, this one is live again. Now, 10,000 Ethereum isn't a fantasy really. It's just math. It's showing that it has the ability to rocket, and we have the target really right up at 10,000. We're thinking Ethereum in the long run is going 25, 30,000, but one step at a time. All right, so we have to keep everything in. We can't get that ahead of our skis. Let's wait for the breakout really to get above 5,000. Then we can start blowing our horns and, popping off bottles of champagne. But if we look at Ethereum itself, it's following M2. We've said this before. It's doing the same thing Bitcoin does. It will follow M2 global liquidity. We got a lot of room to run in Ethereum. Now, if we look at, what's this chart right here? Okay, that one, yeah. This one's basically the same breakout pattern that we're looking at. We had a bullish Adam and Eve back here, and now we basically have the breakout happening right there. Okay, descending right angled broadening formation is happening. Same kind of thing is we got a flat top here, which is good. Breakout's happening. It's got to hold the 4,000 level, and it's moving upward. It's moving upward very, very nicely. So if we come on over to Bitcoin dominance, all right, and we talk about Bitcoin dominance, right now it's up a little bit from yesterday. It's at 58.33 right now. We talked about the rotation out of Bitcoin into Ethereum and other altcoins. It's still obviously it's going to take a while before it really fully comes into play. But really what we need to see is Ethereum really take off, and Ethereum's going to have to be the one that carries Bitcoin this time, not the other way around. So Ethereum taking off is going to have to lead to secondary buys in Bitcoin to hold Bitcoin structure and to take Bitcoin up. So Ethereum is really the key to the whole thing. If we look at the total market cap, all right, and we're looking at 2018, 2021, okay? The structure is identical. The signal is alive, okay? Last time it went 10x. This time we're thinking it's bigger, okay? Bigger liquidity, stronger rotation. And we know that alt season doesn't announce itself. It kind of sneaks in. So right now, as far as altcoins across the board, it's a mixed bag, all right? We got XRP really taking a hammering. It's down at 277 right now. The line in the sand, and we'll get into XRP in a second. Line in the sand is 271, or it's going to open its way up to 260. That's going to be hellish for retail traders. That's going to be hellish, especially since most of them loaded up at the top. And they're gonna puke positions. So a break of 271, they're gonna puke positions. So we look at meme coins. The Pepe meme coin momentum faded. It's down nearly 6-7% today. We got Layer Brett, a new Ethereum Layer 2 meme-based project, is making some noise with massive staking yields and hyped about 25x to 100x potential. Always cautious with that. We got RTX, a PayFi altcoin focusing on seamless cross-border transfers, is gaining some attention as it edges closer to exchange listing. So that's important. So while majors are cooling off, speculation is still alive and well in all the altcoin trenches. You just got to pick the right ones. Now, we picked HBAR. We believe that's the one that's going to really take off. But all right, before we wrap up, crew, we got to make sure that you're well aware of our trading community. And there is the link in the description. You click this link right here, you were taken over to this Telegram site, and where you can actually copy our trades, all right, and follow us. Okay, it's free, but we just ask you to deposit a small amount of money, and so you could trade. I mean, it's kind of stupid to join a pro group and you don't have any ability to trade. And really, you'd want the same prices and the same execution as we would have. So if you're on a different broker that has wider spreads, you're not going to get the same execution. And believe me, every little tick counts in this game. All right. So also, if you want to follow again with our broker of choice, you don't want to copy our trades, you just want to follow with our broker of choice, you click this link and you'll be taken over to WEX, the broker of our choice. Low fees, fast execution, no slippage. I'm telling you, this broker is really good. It's really, really good. All right, so let's just finish up with one final chart about altcoins, okay? So let's get into that chart. we can see altcoins are knocking on the door of their 2021 all-time high. If we think about it, in 2021, it was hype, retail mania, and really exit liquidity that was getting taken out. Now we got silence, disbelief, but creeping in is institutional inflows. Institutional inflows. So this isn't a top. Once we break through, this is going to be the ignition point. It's really a breakout that nobody expects, and it's one that's going to melt faces. All right. So I said I was going to get into XRP. Unfortunately, my XRP chart went down, but I'll give you the points. XRP 271 is really, they have to hold 271 in XRP. Right now, as it stands, it needs to, it needs to get above 282, and what is it trading at right now? XRP is trading at 276. It needs to crawl back above the 282 level, and then it's got a lot of wood to chop between 282 and 3, and 3 is the psychological level. All right, so to sum it up, right now Bitcoin is range bound. All right. Remember our discount levels that we said right here, 106, 105, 100. They're still in play right now. Ethereum is under short-term pressure itself, but, it's starting to, show huge attraction from, corporate inflows. So huge attraction, corporate inflow. We got altcoins that are mixed red and green depending on where you look. The next big move is going to be triggered by macro data or ETF flows. So we got to stay sharp this week, okay? So if you found, this information valuable, make sure you share it with your friends, like and subscribe, and make sure you join our pro group. So make sure you come over to X, follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. And remember, what do you have to do? Well, you got to join our group, our trading group, okay? That will help you out. The second thing you got to do is you got to do your own research. And the third thing you have to do as a short-term trader is enjoy the party, but dance near the door. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.